Previously on Survivor. After Catherine was voted off, Luca and Colin regained trust between Locosta with Valentina, Ryan, and Logan, even though secretly Valentina still has her allegiance with the fans on the Tofana tribe. Colin, trying to avoid his fourth tribal council in a row, the remaining competitors were put to the test to remember certain information from past challenges. At the end of the challenge, it was Locosta avoiding tribal and poisoning Sean, sending Tofana to their next tribal council. Throughout the week, the Firsts, especially Ryan, expressed their hatred towards Ava backstabbing the Firsts. However, to Ava, this symbolized her effort to not play the game as emotionally as she has. On Tofana, with tribal council looming, the obvious out was Brian, with Sean being poisoned. However, with a group chat mess-up and some clear communication problems, things weren't so easy as the threat of idols from either Brian or Sean came up, leaving Julia on the outs. Worried she might be next, in efforts to try to take her name off the chopping block, Julia created this plan to tell people that she had an idol, even entrusting Valentina to tell her own Locosta tribe that she believed she had an idol. However, when it came to tribal council, no idols were played, as Brian was voted off, being the 7th person voted out of this game, and the first member of our jury. Who will be voted off next? What's this whole thing with the poison, and when will it come back to hurt them? Find out tonight on Survivor.
Are you ready?
I saw it coming. I don't know. I gave them another chance to show that I could trust them, and I obviously can't. So I'm done with them. It's just all me and the other tribe right now, because none of them trust anyone on my tribe. I don't trust anyone on my tribe, so I'm off it. You know, they all have targets on their back now.
I am on the fucking jury. I'm so excited about that. Vote went perfectly. No idols played. I have an idol in my pocket still, and I feel like we're gonna merge. Obviously, Sean is over there talking to all the other tribes, so I'm gonna run over there right after. Nervous about that for sure. It's just, it wasn't the right time to take out Julia, but that time is definitely coming. And I know that she has this final 3 deal with me, but I don't think it's the best move for my game to go with it. So I'm just trying to weigh my options and play closely and play it close to the vest is what I meant to say, but Brian's yelling and distracted me. And just very excited to be on the jury.
Hi.
The new Tofana tribe. Brian voted out our last tribal council. Valentina, what's your opinion on
Twitter? I mean, we've been new, but like lit.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry.
Ryan, you're not in agreement? You knew
we've been new but lit. Like, I get what she's trying to say. We saw that coming. Quite frankly.
Fair enough. So Jake hinted at a merge last week.
Sorry.
But are you guys excited to hear the next challenge?
Yes.
So it's a challenge.
What do you want us to say?
Right.
I don't know.
Give us a line.
Fair enough. Well, we're 40 days in. We're totaling 88 days this entire season. And I think it's time that we drop our buffs. We have merged.
Sorry, bitches.
She throws it.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Great job.
I will. We all made the merge. Everyone drop your buffs. Everyone got Hold on for that. Alright, Sean, I'll take the poison back. Thank you.
Whoever's in Blackbeard buffs, A plus content.
I will, one by one, call out your name, and you will grab the new buff. We'll start with Ryan.
Tell me that. What's with this whitewashing?
What is this?
There won't be a civil suit filed against Survivor Syracuse.
Okay, this will actually go with my outfits.
Luca.
The white's the main kind of fire.
Wait, I love the orange because everything's Syracuse.
Wait, this is like
Bandanas?
in no way. The whole Survivor show. Unfortunately, the whole show.
All the music. Colin.
Because you're so dead.
Ava. Alright. That's all I have for you guys.
Oh shit, Ski. Sorry.
So, just to show it, individual immunity is what you covet now.
Oh, that's just icy. Icy!
Week by week, you'll do challenges, and one person will be crowned immunity.
I'm winning that shit
But
just to look.
Logan, Valentina, Jake, Sean, you guys don't have merge buffs yet.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Jake, what's up with that?
Everyone has been speculating for a while what it might be. We could sit out of a challenge. We could have a separate tribal. I don't really want to go to tribal with 4 people. I want to meet all these new people, but we'll see what happens.
Fair enough. Well, for this, we have entered a poison challenge. Everyone who was poisoned was technically safe for a tribal council. So, in order to get into the merge, they'll have to prove their worth and show that they belong here because they were safe 1 week and everyone else had free game. So, for this challenge, we will do a Big Brother type challenge. Inside, we have a room reserved, right? Each white merged castaway will get a ball and will have to hide a ball in the room. The 4 poisoned players will have to find 1 ball each, and the 2 balls that the white castaways didn't find, they will be head of household and will have to put 2 of the poisoned people on the block. For you guys who don't know the show, so on the block. So for example, say Casey and I don't get our balls found by the poisoned people. So we get to pick between Logan, Valentina, Jake, Sean to put on the block, and the rest of us 6 that has the white merged bandanas will vote for who gets voted off between those 2. Right now. That being said, if you pick a person with a poisoned idol, the person with the poisoned idol can play it, and it will act like the power of veto, and you could put someone who has the white bandana on the block, and you also get a vote to decide between those 2 people who gets voted off.
This is so much.
I'll take the 6 people, white bandana, whatever. I'll take them. We'll go into the room. Each will have a ball. They'll have to hide it in the room. You can't hide it in the trash can. That's the only thing. But after you guys all hide it, the poison people will join me into the room. They won't know which ball is which person's, and they'll find 4 balls. 4 balls in together, 1 each. The 2 balls that weren't found are the head of households, and they have to pick between Logan, Valentina, Jake, or Sean to put on the block. But if one of those 2 choices has a poison idol, the poison idol person can play it, and that will act as a power of veto, which means they could swap their place on the block with someone who is already merged. And they will take their place as the vote. The 2 people that don't get selected on the block are not voting, but they made it to the merge. Hey guys, it's Luke, the host. So I wanted to jump in at this point within the episode just to clarify a little bit more about the challenge if it wasn't clear. So basically, it's a poisoned challenge where it's somewhat like Big Brother, if you've seen the challenge, where people hide things in a room and the poisoned people in this case were tasked to find those balls. And if those balls weren't found, those people would be tasked to pick 2 people to place on the block. The thing about that is, if they place the person who had the poison idol on the block, in this case Jake would be able to swap his place on the block with someone who wasn't even poisoned. So if Jake gets picked by the people that don't get found, he can essentially switch his spot on the block and potentially save himself from getting voted out with someone who wasn't even poisoned. For that, we filmed the challenge, but we felt like it didn't have a clear picture of who found the balls or not, so we decided to leave it out. But the rest of it, as you can see after I talk, it shows who found the balls and who got to decide who to put on the block. After the challenge was over, it was Ryan Baker, Lucas Serio, and Paul Levine choosing who two players who were poisoned to place on the block out of Sean, Jake, Ava, and Valentina. They did not know that Jake had the poison idol, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the episode. Thank you. All right, so welcome to the Poison Tribal. Valentina, Logan, Sean, and Jake. We found 3 balls, which were Colin, Julia, and Ava. Luca, Ryan, and Paul got to choose 2 people to put on the block in this Big Brother-esque challenge. They have chosen Sean and Jake. So, what that means, if neither Sean and Jake has a poison idol, Logan and Valentina, you are safe, you are in the merge, and you guys, plus you 3, will be voting between Sean and Jake. That being said, we will reveal the poison idol now. So, if anyone has poison idol and wants to play it, now will be the time to do so.
Hey guys.
Oh, you!
No, you did not tell me. And hit it in my spot.
This makes sense to me. Now I feel stupid for not.
There you go, Luke. I am not going home this week.
Awesome. Rules of Survivor Syracuse say poison idol acts as a power of veto this week. This means Jake gets to pick someone to join Sean on the block who has already been merged. So that means either these 3 or those 3 in white. Jake, your decision?
Okay. I'm sorry, Luca. I'm gonna put you on the block.
Luca has been placed on the block. Luca, you will be with Sean on the block. Jake, you will be granted a vote.
Thank you. It wasn't a real
Luca, I'll take that back for now.
No, like it, I couldn't play it.
Oh,
shit.
In this
You
vote,
guys will share this.
in this vote, can one of
we
them play
talk?
that?
Yeah, if either of them have an idol, can they play it?
Can we strategize right now? I'm stupid.
Alright, so just to reiterate, Ryan, Colin, Ava, Paul, Julia, and Jake, you guys are safe, and you guys will be voting for either Luca or Sean.
do they get to vote?
No. Because they offset.
You.
That being said, yes. Every tribal rule applies except for the idols. If the vote gets tied, we will go to rocks. Same thing. The only one safe if we go to rocks is Jake. And the 2 people that you guys are voting. Ryan, you're talking a bit. What was your view on this poison challenge? You got to choose someone on the block, didn't really go well?
Yeah, so what kind of went down was that since it was me and Luca versus Paul, two tribes, both tribes are kind of represented in that decision. So it was kind of an obvious, we were kind of like split on who we wanted to choose. So we both said, Luca and I would make a choice and Paul would make a choice because obviously we weren't going to put our own tribe on the line. So that was kind of how it went down, and it ended up, I don't think any of us saw this coming. And yeah, it backfired on us, to be perfectly honest.
Fair enough. Colin, thoughts?
Fucking mess. This is crazy. Props to Jake for being so like that was solid
That
job
was
hiding.
insane.
That was the most nonchalant thing.
I didn't know.
Wow. Really good. But like that screws me up. I don't know what to think. This is a mess.
The week Molly went home.
Jake, you want to reveal to the entire?
Yeah, so I found it as a
Take a
third
stick.
clue, basically immediately after I went looking. It was behind the thwarted amphitheater. And I just basically made a decision. It wasn't even a real immunity idol. Like if I had played it at a normal tribal council, it wouldn't negate all the votes against me. It just stopped 2 people from voting. I can show you guys the note or whatever. But yeah, I made a decision not to tell anybody, and I hope you guys can respect that. Luca, I'm sorry. You were someone who obviously had a say in putting me on the block. We haven't spoken, and I have heard obviously rumors about you before. It's nothing personal. I had to do what I had to do.
I had a feeling when you had the choice that I was doing that.
Yeah, no,
It's not personal.
Thoughts on this poison challenge block?
Holy shit. Well, first, it's just been an emotional roller coaster this entire day. First we had the Brian thing, and like I didn't want to, but we had to do it. Sorry, Sean, I'm rambling. But then the Big Brother challenge announcement, that was incredible. Like I love that challenge, one of my favorites. Like me and my friends at home always play it and talk about it. And then for 3 of the balls not to be found instead of 2 was also crazy. And then I had to deliberate with Luca and Ryan. It was a lot. And then for Jake to whip out the idol, it's been a day. It's a Friday. Thank God. TGIF.
I can't even formulate a sentence. This was insane. I mean, every single challenge I walk in with an expectation, and every single challenge, everything just goes differently than I expected. So this was definitely the most shocking day thus far, and it's not even over.
As a fan, this is insane. I love this. This is crazy. I'm happy I made it to the merge. I'm gonna be on the jury no matter what happens. This shit was insane. That was awesome.
Yeah, good job, Luke. Shout out Luke, right?
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
It's not time to vote yet, but like final tribal, I'll give Sean and Luca both a minute to say what they want to say, to try to persuade your votes to not vote for them. Whoever wants to go first, you can stand, you can do whatever, you can look at everyone. It's your call.
I don't know. I think regardless of what happens, a lot of respect for the game. It's a good time. Excited to be a part of it. Hopefully it continues. I think I've proven at this point I'm a pretty solid challenge player. I think I've formed good relationships, and I also think that, obviously I'll take note of who votes which way, and I think, if I'll merge, if I'm still a part of this team, I can be a big asset to you and whatever you're trying to do here. So, that's something that I hope people keep in mind, and I think, I don't know, I hope people feel that way, and I hope people will, I'm sure the same can be said for Sean as well.
Sean?
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I mean, I don't know, like Luca, I've just enjoyed every second of this. I don't want it to be over, but at the end of the day, it's I know it's the game. I feel like I've built good relationships, and I can also, I feel like I can be an asset to people too. I don't know. I just don't want to go home. I really don't. So this would suck if I went home. I'm not gonna lie, it would hurt. But I don't know, nothing I can do except plea, I guess, to beg. I don't want to go home. I want to stay here with you guys. Really, yeah.
All right. Take that into consideration, voters. With that, we'll go Ryan, Colin, Julia, Ava, Paul, Jake. It's time to vote.
I know that Luca has an idol, and I know he is an ally with me right now and our Ricasta tribe. So, therefore, I'm voting Sean. Obviously, I would not have wanted it to go this way, either of them, because both of them are in alliance with me right now. At least I hope so. But I know that ultimately Luca will prove to be more of an asset in the game.
Julie, you were wonderful this evening. Always a pleasure. I vote to evict Luca. Nothing personal. I just kind of wanted to ride it out with you and following the merge a little bit. But rumor has it you got an idol. If I can't trust Jake, I can't trust you.
Because there's one more twist to this poison. You're savage. Luca and Sean, if you guys have an idol, you get to go in there and say either no, don't have an idol, or yes, I want to give it to
Wait, what?
It's a risk because if one of you gets voted off, another person has the idol, and you don't have it. But that being said, you pass it on.
It's like if you have a
So
child.
if you have an idol and you think you're going home, you can pass it on to someone else. You can keep it. If you don't have an idol, just write no. If you have an idol, you can say either no or give a person the idol if you think you're going to get voted out. That being said, if you don't have an idol, just say no.
Okay.
But depends on if you think you're going to get voted out or not. Boys in Tribal. The person voted out will be asked to take the torch, get it snuffed, and leave Tribal Council immediately. We are between Luca and Sean, who have been nominated by now Jake, who used the poison idol. With that, I'll read the votes. First vote, Luca. Second vote, Luca. Third vote, Sean. That's 2 votes Luca, 1 vote Sean. Fourth vote, Sean. That's 2 votes Luca, 2 votes Sean, 2 votes left. Fifth vote, Luca. That's 3 votes Luca, 2 votes Sean, 1 vote left. If we are tied, we will re-vote. If we are tied after that, and then we are deadlocked, we will go to rocks. Last vote, 8th person voted out, Survivor fans versus first, and the second member of our jury, Luca. You can grab the torch. Luca, you will have a decision to make on who wins this game. Thank you. The tribe is spoken. Challenge-wise, we will not have a challenge today. The challenge will be within the week. All right?
Oh my
So I will send.
swear to fucking God.
I will send all of you a Google form throughout the week until Thursday. You have to get as many votes for your name to win immunity. Immunity will be revealed at the next tribal council,
Wait, I don't
and you will not know who
Hmm.
gets immunity.
But everyone is not free. Not
That is
just
the
like
challenge.
non-
Stay tuned from scenes from our next episode. With the next challenge being the popular vote,
requiring the players to market themselves to outside players of the game in order to receive the most votes on who deserves immunity, who will win? How will Colin use his new idol that Luca grants him? And within this merge, will there be new alliances? Will existing alliances survive? And how will the tribal lines form?
I don't know how intentional Jake's decision was. I think I played the game cocky. I think I definitely thought I was safer than I was. I didn't see this coming. I don't know if anyone did. I gave my idol to Colin. And people know he has one, so maybe it'll put a target on his back, but hope he helps me go further than I did, and I don't know. I just don't want all the apologies and shit. I want people to like come after me and like apologize for it. It's fake. You voted for me. That's the reality. It kind of is what it is. It's a game. And it had to end, and I think I went further than I thought I was going to, but it's definitely getting this far, and you're into it, and now you gotta deal with life after.